Chapter 17. Tensions and Alliances. The sacred clearing was bathed in the cold light of the full moon, casting long shadows across the rune-etched stones. Ava stood at the center, her silver eyes scanning the gathered wolves. Alphas from rival packs, elders from the council, and warriors from scattered territories had all come, their faces a mix of wariness and resolve. The air was thick with unspoken doubts, the tension a palpable weight pressing down on the assembly. Xander stood to Ava's right, his golden eyes sharp as they roved over the crowd. Luca flanked her other side, his usual smirk replaced by a grim determination. Seth lingered in the shadows, his presence a quiet reassurance amid the unease. Elder Mirella stepped forward, her silver-streaked hair catching the moonlight. She raised her hand for silence, her voice steady as she addressed the gathering. "You all know why we are here. The darkness has spread beyond the borders of our territories. It is no longer just a threat. It is an inevitability. If we do not act together, we will all fall." A murmur rippled through the crowd, doubt and fear evident in the wolves' expressions. Elder Rowan stepped forward, his face shadowed by suspicion. "And we are to put our faith in the Silver Wolf?" he asked, his voice sharp. "A girl with untested power carrying a relic none of us understand. Are we so desperate?" Ava's fists tightened at her sides, but she held her ground. Before she could respond, Xander's voice cut through the murmurs. "She has fought the darkness and survived. She's wielded the power of the tome to save lives. What more proof do you need?" Rowan's gaze flicked to Xander, his lips curling into a sneer. "Proof? How about a guarantee she won't lose control and turn that power against us?" Ava stepped forward, her voice steady despite the anger simmering beneath her skin. "I can't promise perfection," she said, "but I can promise that I will fight with everything I have to stop the darkness. If any of you have a better plan, I'm listening." The clearing fell silent. Rowan's gaze lingered on her for a moment before he stepped back, his expression unreadable. Mirella nodded, her approval evident. "Then it is decided. We fight together, or we fall alone." The hours that followed were a flurry of preparation. Ava found herself at the center of it all, the tome in her hands as she worked with Mirella and the other elders to decipher its glyphs. Each page seemed to reveal more of the prophecy, its words both enlightening and cryptic. Seth approached her as she studied, his presence a steady calm amid the chaos. "You handled Rowan well," he said, his tone low. Ava glanced up at him, her lips curving into a faint smile. "I'm not sure I handled him at all. He's still looking for a reason to turn on me." "He's scared," Seth said simply. "Fear makes people dangerous, but it also makes them predictable. Use that to your advantage." She studied him for a moment, then nodded. "I'll keep that in mind." As dawn approached, the alphas and elders gathered around the sacred stones to finalize their plans. The scouts' warning had been clear. The darkness was massing near the heart of the sacred site, preparing for an all-out assault. They had little time to waste. Xander stepped forward, his voice steady and commanding. "We'll divide into 3 groups. Mirella and the elders will lead the first, defending the council and our healers. The second group will flank the darkness's forces, led by Luca and myself. Ava and Seth will lead the third, striking directly at the heart of the corruption." Ava's stomach tightened, but she nodded. She met Xander's gaze, finding reassurance in his steady confidence. "We'll do whatever it takes," she said. "I know you will," Xander replied. He hesitated, then added, "Just be careful." She nodded again, the weight of his words settling over her like a protective shield. As the wolves prepared to move, Mirella approached Ava, her expression serious. "The tome, it's more than a weapon, it's a guide. Trust it, but don't let it consume you." "I'll do my best," Ava said, her voice quiet but resolute. Mirella placed a hand on her shoulder, a rare softness in her gaze. "We're counting on you, Ava. All of us." Ava nodded, the weight of the moment pressing down on her. She turned to Seth, who stood waiting at the edge of the clearing. "Ready?" he asked. "Ready," she replied, though the knot in her stomach told a different story. Together they moved into the shadows, the weight of the prophecy and the hopes of the realm resting on their shoulders.